Last time on Building a Main, we got filthy rich doing one of the last PvP activities in RS3, runecrafting. We made so much gold that we ended up achieving one of the primary goals of the account, that being a 2 bill bank value. We're starting off today's episode getting one step towards another goal by getting 99 defense. Defense isn't the flashiest skill in the game, but this has one of the best cape perks, that being a sign of life effect. Usually you'll throw this in the max cape or put it on the Anachronia Basecamp player lodge stand to make use of the effect regardless of your cape. We don't yet have the player lodge up to tier 3 for our skill cape stand because we don't yet have 90 construction. However, at least this gives us a good reason to train it. Now that we're done with runecrafting, we can get rid of Nexus Mod and Pouch Protector in our Relic slots in favour of Berserker's Fury and Unexpected Diplomacy. I've still got a few reps left to do, which is why Unexpected Diplomacy is going in there. I definitely need to get on the Menaphos rep grind because I've kind of been putting that off at this point. But there's no way to get around the fact that we're going to need to do that rep in order to do all of the desert quests, including Fight Club. And putting our Berserker's Fury relic straight to use, we went to Hellwore and decided to test out our Cinderbane gloves, one of the things we picked up with our runecrafting profits. By combining Cinderbane's weapon poison, a blood reaver with a bunch of self-healing effects like Soul Split and Vampirism, you can get a ton of DPS out of just the insane amount of poison procs alone. So this drastically reduced our Hellwore kill times compared to what we had previously. Our next Reaper was Vindicta, and I've already tested out range at Vindicta and got some pretty good kill times, so I decided why not try out Bic Arrows. This is like the full high-end poison build setup and is generally better for longer fights, but I decided to see if it was even worth it at Vindicta at all. But the reality set in when I saw how quickly the arrows were being used up. That combined with the fact that the fight is already down to about 1 minute in length, meaning the arrows don't really get a chance to stack to any meaningful amount. It became pretty clear that for a fight this length, these arrows are not worth using. I probably would have had much better luck using Wen or full arrows, to be honest. I decided that after doing a whole weekend of some high intensity runecrafting, I was going to take things a bit more chill for a while, and I ended up settling on starting out with some safe cracking. Okay, until we hit 83 thieving, we basically do the 2 safes here, the 2 safes in Port's Rim, and then the 2 safes in Black Knight's Fortress. I'm going to do this the AFK method rather than the intensive method of always clicking. So 6 safe should be enough, but if it's not, then we'll just add in the ones in Alcarid. Now we've hit 83 thieving, we can do the next level of safes, which are in Camelot, Ardoin, and Yanil. And we're going to do these till 85 for now. That is the highest thieving level I need to get the quest cape. I believe it's the requirement for Pieces of Hate. And then after that, there's only one more level requirement I have to get for the quest cape, which is 82 Firemaking. And I'm going to go a bit past 82 Firemaking because Firemaking and Cooking, I believe, is currently the only combination of skills that I can't use a Pulse Core boost to open up the effigy for. So if I go up to like 90 Firemaking, then I can open my effigies, which will then give me a bunch of woodcutting XP and allow effigies to start dropping again. Okay, unsurprisingly, Corrupt Magic Logs really didn't buy anywhere near guide price, so I just bought a bunch of normal Magic Logs, and we are reusing Tinker from our Smithing Hammer. I don't want to make another one of these if I can avoid it. And we are also using Pyromaniac 6, so we're just going for burning as many logs as fast as possible, basically. Okay, so today is the day that Frank's free chest opened, and I have no idea what's going to be in here. We got every key we could, so let's just see what we get. We get Fixate Charge tokens. Those are solid. Dungeoneering Wild cards. We like those. Port's Resource crates we can use to redeem stuff to make like Sea Singer weapons. Some seeds, bones, ashes, wines, alchemy keys, crystal keys, swamp toads. Kind of what I was expecting. It showed a lot of rewards like Dragon Mattock, Dragon Pickaxe, the red map to go get Tavia's Rod. Most of that stuff is going to be like sub 0.1% drop rate, like incredibly low chance of actually getting it. So this is exactly what we were expecting. I think we actually got pretty good loot overall. Like the alchemist keys, quite nice, I believe. And we didn't just get a ton of meats, which seems to be what happened for a lot of people. I actually tried selling some of the meats that I've been buying for dailies, and well, some of them have gone from like being able to slow sell nearly 2k a piece to being like 400 GP each because everyone's just dumping everything from the free chest. So they're probably going back in the bank for another month. Next up on our shopping list is some scaling supplies, starting off with enough battle staves to get up to 99 crafting. We've seen in the past how profitable Earth battle staves can be, and the XP per hour isn't that bad considering the profit, so overall I think this is our best option for 99 crafting. As for the rest of the skills we need to get up, a lot of them are just various methods of burning cash to get XP, such as construction, cooking, firemaking, and fletching. And since it happens to be about 3 months since the last double XP live event, at this point I'm thinking there's another one coming soon. So the plan for the rest of our hard-earned money is to figure out how much stuff we're going to need for double XP when we know when it is, and just buy all that up. What that means for right now is that I don't really have any more excuses to avoid quests, so we're going to rip the band-aid off and start with the Elemental Workshop questline. And there we go, Elemental Workshop 2 complete. Honestly, not that bad. However, number 3 is the one that I remember being kind of annoying. So let's see how that goes. And that is Elemental Workshop 3 complete. I'll be honest, the only issue I really have with the puzzle is that the animations are kind of obtuse and they like block your inputs, and it's not always clear if your input's actually gone through or not. So that's like the only problem I had with it. I actually had more issue with the way and there's no actual notation on the interface in game, so like if they actually notated the interface in game, it'd probably be a little better. This is like one of those quests that's like I don't want to do, but like there's no actual problem with it. It's just not that fun, I guess. Okay, just got done with the final puzzle of Elemental Workshop, and I wanted to just throw something to the wind. So there's a point in this puzzle where you have to lift up one of these like really big stone slabs that you've just chiseled and put it over on this astral one because the previous one's broken. And you do that in order to get the earth cube off the shelf and onto the conveyor belt. What I don't get is how comes the player character is able to lift one of these giant stone token slab things that look like they weigh a huge amount, but isn't able to just lift one of these cubes off this shelf and put it on the conveyor belt himself. And there we go, Elemental Workshop questline complete. Apart from the amusing like logic gap in the last puzzle, this honestly isn't that bad of a questline. I remember it being way worse than it is, but I think a lot of that's just due to like some of the notation or like some of the interfaces, which is kind of just par for the course for these like early 2010 era quests. And one of the quest lines we actually need to do next, which I think I'm actually going to do right now just to get it out of the way, is the Dwarf questline, which, if I remember rightly, also suffers a little bit from old clunky UIs. So let's get on with that. 2005. The era of Garden of Tranquility and the quest where you have to wait 20 minutes on back-to-back steps. And that is Forgettable Tale complete. Okay, while firemaking last night, I found the Bernie pet, which is a neat one. I think we got it just into 89 firemaking. And I'm pretty sure I already had Jack of Trades, but yeah, it's another pet to add to the collection. And for now, it's back to quests. So to continue the Dwarf questline, I actually need to do Between a Rock. So we're going to go do that. And that is Between a Rock complete. So on to Forgiveness of a Chaos Dwarf. And that is Forgiveness of a Chaos Dwarf complete, which can lead us on to King of the Dwarves. So the main reward for doing Forgiveness of a Chaos Dwarf is access to the Chaos Dwarf battlefield, which is this area that you go through in the quest. And the reward here is all these Chaos enemies, Chaos Dwarf, Chaos Dwarf, Hand Cannoners, they all have a chance to drop the Dragon Pickaxe. The Hand cannoners also drop hand cannons, which are used for explosive components, but the dragon pickaxe is about a 1 in 5k if I remember rightly. I spent a fair bit of time there on the Iron Man, going for 2 of them to get the Pickaxe of Earth and Song. And that is King of the Dwarves complete, which gives us access to the Lava Flow Mine, which allows us to get the mining outfit that gives you an up to 6% XP buff when mining, and it also lets you guild pickaxes, which we will need to do in order to guild our dragon pickaxe to make an Emkando pickaxe, and eventually the Pickaxe of Earth and Song. And that is Birthright of the Dwarves and the Red Axe Dwarf storyline complete. Bunch of XP for this one, as well as access to the final set of dragon weapons like throwing axes, battle staffs, warhammers, and the most useful thing in terms of account progression is access to the Lava Geyser mini D&D thing in the Lava Flow Mine, which is how you get the Emkando pickaxe, which is the tier 80 augmentable pickaxe that you can then turn into a Pickaxe of Earth and Song. So yeah, that's the questline entirely complete, and we can now use the tier 95 melee 2H. I'm not even gonna Exekil. There you go. It's not too bad, I guess. Yeah, we can now use that. So once we earn a lot more money, maybe we can try that out. And as a reward for our 375 quest points, we get another tier 4 dice, which gives us a fortunate component and 2.5 mil. Okay, as we get 90 construction, we can now head over to Anachronia and finally finish our player lodge tier 3. So I've been choosing to mix up questing and skilling. I kind of wanted to avoid the situation where I just did a big block of quests and then went straight into nothing but AFK skilling grinds to the end of the series. Okay, we're here at the Oyster for our monthly 1.4 mil is not bad. Not skipping tickets sell pretty good. So we'll fill up this oyster, use our monthly reset token. So let's see. I mean, nature runes are not bad. I think lighthouse teleports are actually a reasonable price as well. I'm doing some big game hunter just to slowly start working towards 99 hunter. And this last hunt got us 82 hunter, as well as the reinforced dinosaur pelt, which is the last item we need to upgrade the Anachronia base camp. This one is used to upgrade the Hunter Lodge to tier 3, which gives you... it removes one of the frogs, so you only have 2 to test. And that helps a little bit. I don't think it's hugely important, but once we get 90 Hunter, we can now build that. Yeah, I've been doing about 3, maybe a bit more than 3 hours worth of big game hunter. I've been doing it on and off for the afternoon. And I just wanted to go over roughly how much we earned during that time, because, yeah, I was actually surprised, to be honest. These dinosaur hides sell for way more than I was expecting. But the meats from the Spaghetti Apatosaur are like 300k, and they're not even the highest one. The Corbicular Rex meat is like 360k. These are the meats that are used to hunt the tier 3 dinos that then in turn drop the pieces of the pterosaur more. So that's why they're so expensive, because if people just want to hunt the highest dinos for the best XP rates and get the more pieces, then they'll buy these meats. We are acting on a rumored double XP weekend date, or double XP live, I think it is now. So the idea is you have like 48 hours of double XP, and in terms of what I do want to get ticked off is basically the skills left that just burn a lot of money. And to that end, I have started buying some supplies. Raw sharks are going to be our path from 85 to 99 cooking. Headless arrows, we obviously need to make broad arrowheads. With the bonus XP we have in both construction and fletching, I believe these 11k plus the 7k or so we have in the bank mahogany planks are going to be enough. Okay, I've been doing some big game hunter, training Hunter up, and we finally got our first Dragon Mattock drop. So they've dropped a little bit. I think a few of them did end up coming into the game from the pirate event. The drop rates seem to be very, very low, so I'm not surprised at all that very few of them came in. But yeah, 37 mil drop is pretty good. I don't believe I'm going to be selling it because when I go for 120 archaeology, I'm just going to make the mattock of time and space, and for that I need to turn this into a crystal mattock. So I'm probably just going to leave it in the bank, unless I need exactly like 30 mil for something. The date for Double XP Live is basically confirmed now, and fortunately I got in pretty much all these buy orders before it became widely known when Double XP was going to be. So I got in just before stuff started to creep up, which is very nice for our cash deck. And basically, I've bought everything I need to max, essentially. All the smithing supplies, fletching, construction, cooking. Basically, everything we need to max, combined with the magic logs we already bought for firemaking. So, yeah, over Double XP weekend, or Double XP Live, which is starting in 10 days from now, we should be able to max, assuming I've got all the longer grinds like fishing, mining, woodcutting done out the way. So maybe it won't be during, but shortly after Double XP Live, we should be maxed. And yeah, that feels pretty good. But that also means I really need to get on and get that quest cape done, so instead of hunter training tonight, let's get on with some quests. Okay, we're going to start off with one of the longer quests in the Firemaker's Curse. And that is the Firemaker's Curse complete, one of the longer quests we had left over, so good to get that one out of the way. This gives us the Book of Char, which used to be really good for certain firemaking training, like back when line firemaking was a thing, because you would just drop a load of logs and just run over them repeatedly and light them so fast. And I don't know why my UI has returned to this layout. I had to use this in the middle of the quest because I couldn't click on anything on the right side of my screen, which is annoying, but it's kind of just an old quest, doesn't work with the new UI always. So yeah, the Book of Char used to be a really great firemaking like daily method, I think. Nowadays it's not that useful. Okay, it was knocking out the Daily Reaper, which was a Raxxi, and we just got the Path 1 piece of the spider leg, so we no longer need to do the minion path, which is really nice to get that one. Okay, we finally got up to another 300 Reaper points for another incomplete hydrix, which is a nice 76 mil boost. And back to questing, completing Tox Ketzil. I don't remember actually doing this on any account, so I don't think it actually gives us anything useful, but it's one of the apparently longer quests, and I'm trying to knock those out first, so I feel a bit more motivated. And next up is a Clockwork Syringe done, and this is the second to last quest in the pirate era. And, well, to be honest, there was like a 10-year gap, and we now have Pieces of Hate to, I believe, finish off this storyline. So I'm gonna go do that next. Never done this one before. This quest is actually really good. Like, the first few quests in the pirate series are kind of like, you know, the early 2010s or even before quests that mostly just bring certain items and engage with some wonky mechanics, like the seagull dropping cannonballs was really annoying. This quest, on the other hand, really, really good in my opinion. I remember rat catchers being a way more annoying quest than it actually was, so that was a nice surprise. I was kind of dreading doing that, but it didn't end up being a problem at all. There is Spirit of Summer complete, and we're going to head straight into the next quest, which is Summer's End. And that is Summer's End complete. A relatively short quest chain, but this actually unlocks Corporeal Beast, which is a boss that used to be quite challenging. Less so now, since we now have access to tier 90 and tier 92 spears. But Yeah, it's probably a boss that I will end up farming quite a lot in the future because boss logs is something that interests me, and he has one of the lowest drop rate uniques out of any boss, I think. And that's where we're going to be wrapping up this episode. Honestly, going back through all these clips reminded me how much of the game's lore I actually really enjoy, but also reminded me just how many quests are in RS3. So we're not done with questing, but starting to pay off that debt of skipping it for a few episodes. But otherwise, as we mentioned, we're approaching a double XP live and we're all prepped and ready to really get some big games. So as always, I hope you all have a wonderful week and hope to catch you again next time.